Are you looking to learn and master the Microsoft Power BI tool? Welcome back to Excel Island, where we are trying to learn and master the data analytics tool, Microsoft Power BI, over the next 100 days. Today is day 26, and we've been learning so far for the past 25 days. You can catch previous live streams, previous lessons on the channel. Also, all data set exercise files, Power BI files that we're using on this live stream are already linked under the YouTube description. Do make sure to download those files and practice along with me. Today is day 26. We are trying to finish the last chapter in the current course that we have, which is data transformation in Power BI. We are basically learning all about the Power Query Editor tool, how to use the Power Query Editor for cleaning, transforming, and preparing our data sets prior to data analysis. We are learning the advanced part of the Power Query Editor, which is the M language. That is the brain behind the Power Query Editor that does all the work for you that you don't see with your naked eyes, except you try to go to the advanced part of the Power Query Editor. We'll be learning that in this live stream. So without further ado, let's jump back to learning. Welcome back to day 26. Okay, so we are using the DataCamp platform for the learning so far. And we are on the course, we are in the current course called Data Transformation in Power BI. So we are actually on the career track on the DataCamp platform, which is Data Analyst in Power BI, or career track on the DataCamp platform. On my previous live streams, I did the Data Analyst in SQL career track, and I was able to achieve 100 days of learning for that. And I'm still trying to practice off all I've learned and honing my skills and working on some personal projects, which I'll also be sharing with you on the channel. So do well to subscribe right now and put on the notification bell so you'll be the first to know whenever I go live or drop a new content. You can see the data analysis in SQL career track. We did that when we started live streaming on the channel. Well, we are currently on the data analysis in Power BI career track, and we are 33% to audio career track. And quick one here, when I finish this career track, we'll move to the next one called Data Analysis with Python career track. So make sure to subscribe right now, put on the notification bell so you'll be the first to know whenever I go live on the Data Analysis Power BI career track, or when I start the Data Analysis in Python career track. If I click on this, let me just show you what it looks like. In this career track, actually, we have 17 courses estimated for about probably 42 hours of learning, and we've covered 6 courses so far out of 17. So by today, we'll start the 7th course, and that means we only have 10 more courses to go. You can see, oh, I was on track. You can see, we have 17 courses estimated for 48 hours, and we've actually covered, we're on the 6th course, the edit now. We're actually on the last chapter in the 6th course. So we still have quite a lot to learn. So let's continue from where we stopped. So you can catch all of these recordings, this learning together with me on the previous live streams. Do well to watch it and practice if you want to own your master your Power BI skills. So let's continue the course from here and let's get to learning. I'll just open the file, which is this introduction to the, I'll just move it out to my second screen right here. That's introduction to the advanced editor. So let's begin the learning journey.
Now that we have a good understanding of some of the more advanced features in Power BI, let's dig deeper into the backbone of Power Query, the advanced editor. We will also learn about M-code, the language of Power Query. The advanced editor is a tool in Power Query which allows you to see the source code of your query and change it. Power Query works by translating each transformation step to a line of M-code, the language of Power Query. This is like when you record macros in Excel and gets translated to Visual Basic for applications. DAX and M language are both parts of Power BI, but they have some important differences. We use DAX to create measures and analyze data, while M language is used to extract, transform, and load data. DAX, which stands for Data Analysis Expressions, is used to create metrics such as sums, averages, and so on. These metrics do not actually change our data, they simply use data to calculate new values. So when you filter a column with a DEX measure, the underlying data remains in its original state. Just like Excel, DEX functions are not case sensitive. If you want to load, edit, or even create data to analyze, you will need to use Power Query or M language, which comes from data mashup. There are many transformations you can apply to your data once it's loaded. You've already learned how to apply many of these transformations, such as removing columns or renaming them, pivoting tables, and merging queries. One more difference between DEX and M is that M code is case sensitive. Although this may seem complicated at first, M code is really just a translation of the steps you have been applying so far in this course into a sequential programming language. Any step you apply to the data is translated to a corresponding line of M code, while any line of M code we write gets translated to an applied step. So it is a one-on-one relationship. Similar to other programming languages, you can store variables as well as define functions to be used in the context of your query. We will learn how to write our own custom functions in this lesson, which is a very useful feature for applying some more advanced transformations to your data, as well as for writing more succinct code. Finally, you may also add comments to your M code by using a double / prefix. This can help your code be more readable for others. The M language defines several value types for use in data transformations. Many of these are analogous to the data types we have already seen in Power Query, such as number, text, logical, and date. More abstract value types, such as lists and tables, also exist and are used by the Power Query engine as a way to group data together. Once you learn some applications of M language, you will understand how lists can be used to store important values for functions. Tables are the most common data structure in M language. Tables consist of column names and lists of values that are organized into those columns. Here we can see the output of our example code produces a table with 2 columns, index and value, consisting of the 3 rows of data we passed as lists to our table constructor function. Let's try this out ourselves and see what can be achieved with the advanced editor and some knowledge of M code.
Alright, so let's practice some M code and the advanced editor. Using the advanced editor, okay. So let's see what we have here. So which of the following can you only implement by writing M language in the advanced editor? Removing column, adding a custom column, merging square. Which of the following can you only implement by writing M language in the advanced editor? Create a custom function, merging two queries, adding a custom column, removing a column. I can add a custom column in front of it, merging two queries, custom function. Yeah, perfect. So custom function must be created in the advanced editor by writing M code, while the other options can be done through Power Query and the advanced editor. You can, okay, oh, that's cool, because I definitely know that you can also perform all of this in the Power Query interface, and you can also do that with the advanced editor. So let's continue from here. Okay, we have one more exercise to go. DAX versus M language. So M language and DAX are two different but essential parts of the Power BI ecosystem. Okay, I'm trying to make sure my mic is working perfectly well. Just some minutes. Hello. Ooh, I have no idea my mic was not working well since. I just kind of take a peep and I noticed it was disconnected. Sorry about that. So if I don't getting my audio, I have no idea my mic was disconnected. It's so painful sometimes. So I was actually reading I was actually here. So actually what we did was we listened to the introduction to the advanced editor, and definitely I tried answering this question here, which is this question right here, which just says, which of the following can you only implement by writing M language in the advanced editor? And that is creating a custom function. You can do all of this both in the advanced editor and in the Power Query interface, within the Power Query interface rather. So I just click on that to move to the next step. So it says DAX versus M language. It says M language and DAX are two different but essential parts of the Power BI ecosystem. They are each used to accomplish certain goals in our data analysis journey. Let's solve this exercise by highlighting their differences. So the following is a list with a series of steps that can be done in Power BI if the step is carried out by writing DAX code or in the Power BI interface. Then drag the steps to the DAX bucket. If it is carried out by writing M language, then drag it to the M language bucket. So use a non-standard group by aggregation. Use a non-standard group by application. Let's calculate the sum of a column. Filter a column without changing the data. Filter a column without changing the data. Oh, that's quite interesting. So it says filter a column without changing the data. Create a custom function. Okay, so let's leave that. Cool, we got that. So they are quite straightforward. So well done. Understanding the difference between DAX and M language will allow you to become more efficient when working with the Power BI ecosystem. You will know exactly which feature and areas of Power BI you have to work in, depending on the type of language you are using. So I think we figured that out. So let's move on to the next part of the lesson, which is M language versus advanced editor demo.
The advanced editor allows us to take a peek at the source code of our query and see the block of M code that resulted from these automated translations. Let's create a new blank query and take a look at the advanced editor code. Obviously, there isn't much going on here, so the code looks quite uninteresting. All we can really see is the source step, which has a blank value assigned to it. In addition, we see the let and in statements, which will tell Power Query where our query expression begins and ends. Let's look at the advanced editor for a different query with some data loaded in it. The source and navigation steps are usually automatically added by Power Query when you first load data into Power BI by choosing a data source. These lines of M code collectively refer to the path where your data is located and how Power BI is connecting to it. In this case, we're using the odata.feed M function to connect to an OData data source located at this URL. Then we are instructing Power Query to select a table called orders and load the data inside it. Now close the advanced editor and add a step to this table. Let's remove the employee ID column. Now, if we were to click on the removed column step in the Power Query Applied Steps pane, we can see a preview of the M code that was just created by adding this step here in the formula bar. Let's also open the advanced editor and confirm that the code was added here as well. Yes, we can now see the last step here is removed columns, where the column that we removed is passed to the function in the list, which is represented by the curly brackets, and fed to the table.removeColumns function we wish to remove just by editing the employee ID in the function parameter. Let's do that and see what happens. As expected, the employee ID column has returned in our data, and now the customer ID column has been removed. If we wish, we could also remove a second column by adding another column name to the list, separated by a comma. In the top right of the Advanced Editor window, we can see a drop-down menu called Display Options. This menu has a set of modifications that make it easier to interface with the Advanced Editor. You should experiment with these options to find a configuration that is comfortable to you. It's important to note each step of the query will always reference the name of a previous step in the code. This represents the sequential transformations that take place on your data and ensures that the steps are executed in the correct order. We can see this here. Always make sure when you change or add any steps in the Advanced Editor that you keep this referential structure intact. Great. Now let's solve some exercises to develop our knowledge and practical skills with Power Query and the Advanced Editor.
Oh, great, interesting. So that's an introduction to the Advanced Editor. Okay, so I'm trying to load my Power BI files. So now let's see the instruction and answer the questions. Here we use the knowledge of M language to check the stock levels of our inventory versus product average. This can be extremely useful to avoid out of stock situations. So let's open the stock deviation, the Power BI file. So you can have access to all these files by following the link under the description. You will download all these files for your usage. That is coming up. So delete all the steps after group rows. Okay. Talk to complete total average. So let me just go back to the file right here. So I have to just go to the Power Query editor. Let's see it right there. So if I go to the source right here, I can point this source from our last live stream. So do well to check it out. So I can just go to the source right here and point to the data set on my. If I go to the settings page right here, I'll just copy the data, the file path that is on my system, which is the products table. I'll copy the file path and just paste it there. So if I click on OK, then the file can see. So all these apply steps right here will be implemented. If I just go through it real quick there, can see it right here, can see it right there. Add index. So we're going to apply all these steps. So we did all this from the previous live stream. So you can check it out there. You can see it right there. And finally, so this is all what we did on the previous live stream. So you can see, so that you could do that also. So if I click on the advanced editor, you can see all this code. So that's what we want to learn how to work in this with this advanced editor. This is all the code that we did on the previous live stream. You can see it here. Just uncheck this and cancel it. Let me switch on my camera real quick. So if I go back to the instruction right here, it says delete all the steps after group rows in the apply steps. After group rows, this is group rows. Say delete all, we only have one group rows. We have group rows 1 here. So how many group rows? This is another group rows here. It says delete all steps after group rows in the apply steps. They didn't mention which group to use. First, just say, can say delete until end right here. So you can see, so we are back right from here. I think we are back to our data sets. You can say delete all steps after group tools. So the thing is, I don't know that I'm supposed to delete group tools also, but let's see. Oh, change the aggregation stock. So that means I have to make sure I didn't delete everything. But I'm just going to open this one more time. I'll just cancel. I'm not going to apply it. Then I should go back to it. Make sure I raise everything back. Oh, I've lost everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to close it. Don't save and open it again. I'll just open it again really quick there. So I need to pay attention to the instruction pretty well. Because group tools, probably not group tools one. So we are back here. The transform tab. So I'm just going to go to the source one more time. Change the settings to point it to the file in my data set right here. I still have it copied to my clipboard. I'll click on OK. And the data set is back. So I'll just go back to the last part here. I think I'm going to stop here at this group tools here. I think that is what they mean. If I look at the advanced editor, I should still have all this group to rank. Okay. Okay, let's see. Let me just delete this, delete this, delete this. So I'll assume this group was, I'll assume I'm supposed to delete all the steps after this group tools and leave all this pending. So if I go back to the instruction right here, so it's just delete all steps after group tools in the apply steps pane in the Power Query editor. That is done. It now says change the aggregation method for the task stock to calculate the average instead of the sum using advanced editor. If I go to the advanced editor right here, I have to change the aggregation method for total stock. So this total stock right here, total stock right here. So how do you now change the aggregation? Okay, I think if we change the aggregation method for total stock to calculate the average of sum using advanced editor, total stock, or how do we see that? I can come into this place, settings here and change it, but I don't know which step is that total stock here. Okay, let me come back here. So this total stock here. Oh, okay, I can see it here. This is it right here. You can see this is total stock, category name total stock, and each list. This is the list dot sum. This is the calculation sum. So I need to change it to average. Let's see if I can change it to average right in here. I call on average. Let's see if we have average right there. Oh, that's it. We have average right there. I can see my syntax is correct. If I click on done, that should work fine without giving me any error. Let's see. Click on done. It worked fine, no error. So the instruction now says again, we should also change the name of the total stock column to average stock. Okay, now let's change it back from total stock which is this one here, where we change the aggregation from average, from sum rather to average. We're going to change the total stock to average stock. Average stock. So you can see I'm trying to edit the code that was created before. So I have to make sure I don't make any mistake or I will get error. Yes, it's saying no syntax error have been detected. Click on done. And we are good. Oh, you can see that means I've made an error somewhere. Uh-oh. Average stock. I can see no syntax. Okay, let me check. Oh, let me go back and change it back to total stock. Hold on. Because I think this is referencing it. This average stock. Let me change this back to total stock here. I'll just copy it. Control C. Let me paste this back here. Okay, let me now click on done again. Can see it is black. So I know the mistake from before watching. When we watch the video, I have to make sure that this total stock for right from here will also be referenced in this line of code here. You can see it's being referenced here. So if it's not seeing this total stock all the way from here, if this is not seeing it right here, I'm going to get an error. So let's follow the instruction and do it as we've been told to do. So I'm going to change this back to average stock again. Average stock, click on done. I'm going to get this error, which is cool. I think definitely they want us to get that error. Click on next. Expand the group column, selecting product ID, product name, and stock. Make sure to uncheck use original column as prefix. So I'm going to get error. So I can't continue like this. But let me just go back to right here. Let me go back to my advanced editor right here. And also change this from total stock, which is right here, that is being referenced previously. We have a total stock here before, so this line is going to reference the total stock. Let me change this to average stock also, since you don't have a total stock column there. Okay, now let's click on done. You can see we are now back to normal. So the line of code will always reference the previous. A new line of code will always reference the previous line of code, especially the name of the columns. So okay, so now let's go back to the instruction right here. Expand the group column, selecting product ID. Expand the group column. Okay, we should expand this column. Selecting only the product ID. Okay. Make sure to uncheck use original column name as prefix. So you have unchecked this. Click on OK. Okay, we have now expand this. Now this one now says add a custom column called stock percent deviation that calculate the ratio between each product stock and average category stock for each product. Then format the column as percentage. Add a custom column. Okay. You go to the add column right here and click on custom column. So our custom column is going to be called, sorry about that. Our custom column is going to be called stock percent deviation. Stock percent deviation. Now do not calculate the stock percent deviation. It says that should be calculated using which calculate the ratio between each product stock and the average category stock for each product. Then format the column as a percentage. Calculate the ratio between each product stock and the average category stock for each product. Then format the column as percentage. How do we calculate that? That's pretty hard. Let's see. We only have three columns: category name, total value ID, and product ID. We don't have column for stock here. We're going to take it in. So we're going to use in the add column ribbon, select the custom column. You can calculate this by dividing unit stock by average stock. We now have a custom column here. In the add column ribbon, select the custom column. We will actually expand it because the instruction says we should expand the group column, selecting product ID, product name, and unit. Oh, I already selected product ID, so that was a mistake there. So I have to go back. Let me just copy this real quick. Cancel this. So I was supposed to when I was expanding, I was supposed to select product ID. I think you're also supposed to select unit stock, product name, and unit in stock. Product name and units in stock. These three columns. Click on OK. You can see I have that selected. So I can go back and to my custom column parts and just add. Now I can calculate this custom column pretty well now. Which calculate the deviation between each product stock and the average category stock for each product. Product stock and the average category stock for each product. So if I read the hints pretty well, that says you calculate this by dividing unit stock and by the average stock. We don't have the average stock calculation column here. Unit stock by average stock. If I say this divided by average of what? That's where it gets funny. You can calculate this by dividing unit stock by average stock. But I don't have average stock in this column. Am I missing something? Probably I'm missing something here. Product ID, product name, and unit in stock. So we don't have any average stock column here. That's where the challenge is. We have unit in stock here by average stock. Because we have unit in stock, but we don't have the average stock here. And I can point to the grouped column. Let me see. Grouped table.group. If I point to the table.group, which table was grouped? I need to know the name of the table that was grouped. Oh, so I need to know the table that was grouped. So let's go back a little bit. Let's cancel this. Wait a minute. This can be challenging at times, getting all this calculation. But you have to try multiple times. Okay. Can see the grouped table. It is named grouped. So the table is named grouped. And in this table actually, we have a calculation called average stock because it grouped rows. Average stock, average stock. So that's what I want to make use of. But I need to point to the group table, and I'm going to point to the column in that group table. That's how tricky it can be. So let's do that again. Product name, product ID, unit in stock. But the average stock is not here at all. If I'm not mistaken, we don't have anything called average stock here. Oh, okay. Now let's try this custom column one more time. So that's actually it can be sometime trying to get the calculation. I select unit in stock divided by a grouped column. So I'm trying to get this straight. Table.groups. I need to point to the table which is groups. Ooh, I can't find a table here. I need to find this table called groups. We've actually expanded it, so it will be hard for me to point to it right from here. But that's pretty tough, yeah. So we are saying we should calculate this by dividing unit in stock by average stock. But definitely I can't find my average stock right here. Because I can't find my average stock right here. I can't find it. So that's what the challenge is. Insert, no, we're not inserting. But what if we can just get the average of units in stock? Because if we go back to the calculation of units in stock, let's go to the home tab. This average stock is list.average. So you can see this average stock is actually giving us the units of the average of units in stock. That's quite interesting. So I could say list.average open bracket unit in stock. That should also work. Okay, let me give it a shot one more time. It's always trying to look for solution. Okay, okay. Now let's say unit in stock divided by list.average of unit in stock. Close the bracket. This should solve the problem. I think so. Let's change the data type to percentage. Then that should work. Let's see percentage. We're actually getting error. Ooh. Let's see from this function. So I didn't get the calculation. So there's no way we could just move on. So we need to get this unit in stock by average stock. Well, if I go back to my calculation here, I could just spend more time here without solving this. That's how. That means I didn't get this calculation pretty well. Okay, let me now see this. What if I just call on the average? Oh, guys, I'm still getting this list dot average. Oh. Okay, so the next solution now is to cancel. Let's cancel these steps and try to look. Okay, so I'm going to open another Power BI file and try to look for the solution right here. The int isn't helpful at all, except maybe right here, product ID, product name, and unit in stock. Okay, let's see. I'm just going to go into here. Oh, you can see this. So I'm going to look for a solution to that calculation to understand how to actually perform that calculation. Okay. So let's look at this step here. You can see, so I'm trying to see this additional reorder amount. This is not the column you're looking for. Safety stock is fresh products. No. Oh, this is not the custom column. So it's none of this. Why? So I can see the solution to that calculation in the next worksheets. Oh, there's not anything like average stock right here. So that file, so that means this file is not correct. There is an error somewhere within from the DataCamp platform, because if you follow the instruction, if you actually follow the instruction to the latter, they change the aggregation method for total stock to calculate the average instead of submitting the advanced editor. Also change the name of the total stock column to average stock. Click done once these above changes have been applied. And we actually did that correctly before we actually expanded. If I go back to the advanced editor right here, consider the total stock here, it was changed to average stock, and we only have one calculation for average stock right here. So we're on with the calculation. Then it says oh, my system is low. I'll just quickly need to plug it. Yep, plugged. It says we should expand the group column, selecting product ID, product name, and unit in stock. So what if I, okay, let me see, probably I'm making my mistake from this group rows here. What if I actually delete it all the way to this group rows here? Let's see. It's probably I was the one making the mistake quite for a while now. Okay, let's delete it all the way from here. Let's delete all these steps to the last step here. It's most likely I was the one that was making the mistake since, most likely. So I'll just delete it all the way, delete until the end right here. Then we are back here. So you can see our average stock is still here. Oh, you see, I was the one that was making the mistake all the way to. I didn't read the instruction pretty well, and that was actually a waste of time right there. Right there. Because it now says expand the group column. Expand the group column is selecting product ID. Let's expand this. Product ID, unit in stock, and product name. You see, I was making the mistake, right? So I have my average in stock column right back here. Can be very, very funny if you don't pay attention to the instruction. Cool, I figured out. Add a custom calculation called stock percentage deviation. Now we can now add our custom column, because they have to, this column that you are going to use for your calculation has to be present here. You see, so percentage deviation. That's quite funny. I also quite stock percent deviation, but it was quite interesting to know though. So that will be unit in stock divided by average stock. That's all we have to do since. But I didn't delete my apply steps till the right uh apply step. That was the error there. I can see it worked absolutely fine. That's very, very interesting to see. And I could just change this to percentage, the data type to percentage right here. So we now have to filter our data type here to only show for filter the data to only contain products with less than 10% of the average stock for their category. So less than 10%. It will be hard to see. Well, how do we filter down? Less than 10%. Okay. Less than um let's see. It's in decimal number. So how do we say 10%? That should be 0.10. Okay. Can see less than 10%. This is 8.5, 8.6. So we are correct. So it is going to ask us. It says how many products add less than 10% of the average. So that should be 3. Ooh, we got that finally. That's quite interesting to see. So I didn't pay attention to the apply step, and that was quite a waste of time, but very, very interesting to see that we could solve that. I realized my mistake there. So let's move on to the next instruction, because we spent quite a number of hours trying to figure that out. So renaming steps and adding comments. So rename steps and add comments. Your manager has asked you to add some documentation to a query that was worked on by a previous analyst, so the future analysts have an easier time understanding what the query is supposed to do. Luckily for us, we know how to use the advanced editor to input comments to describe our queries and steps. We also learn how to quickly rename steps rather than double clicking each transformation in the apply steps pane. So load the workbook, rename steps from the exercise folder on the desktop and open the Power Query editor. Okay, we're going to open another workbook. So to do that, I'll just definitely just close this. I could just unfilter it, just so we have all this back right here. So I can just close and apply and save it somewhere. So we have to open rename steps. So while that is coming up, so the instruction now says open the advanced editor, then click on display options and select display line numbers to enable word wrap. Okay, let's open the advanced editor right here. So I'm just trying to point to the product data source right here. So if I load this, my data sets, we look back, you can see we have all these steps that has actually been applied to our data sets. So we have to go into the advanced editor right here. You can see all these steps. So we have to open the advanced editor, then click on display options to select display line numbers and enable word wrap. So I click on display option here, display line numbers, it's going to show line for each line of code and enable word wrap. Cool, I think that's cool. So we won't have, if I unenable it, the word will be longer. So you need to start scrolling to the end of the page here, display page here. If I just do that real quick, we are back here. So it now says, write these names as comments at the top of your query after the let statement in the advanced. This query is used to calculate stock for each product. So we're going to use 2 lines of code to comment and use this double slash. Not that. You can see this query is used to calculate, let's see, is used to calculate the safety stock for each product. This query is used to calculate the safety stock for each product. So that's interesting. So that's a comment there. So rename the added custom one query step to added is fresh product. Added custom one to, let me see, added custom one. You can see it here. Okay, added custom one. We should rename it to added is fresh products. So you can actually rename those steps and make it. If you click done now, you will encounter an error. We fix that in the next steps. Oh, that's interesting. Is fresh product. So let's click on done now. You can see it is showing no syntax error was detected. But if we don't actually understand what is happening within the code, we are going to face an error. And I think I understand why we are going to face an error, because this added is fresh product will be referenced in this added code. You can see it will be referenced here. So I have to make sure that if I'm renaming it here, I also make sure, because the next line of code, which is this line code 9, is going to reference added custom 1. That's why interesting to know while writing this M code. You can see done. You can see we added the import added custom 1 matches no export. You didn't miss a module reference, and I think I figure out the solution to that. Since we are changing added custom 1 to added the fresh product, make sure to change any instance of added custom 1 for the new reference in the M code. So that's exactly what is happening there. If I go back to my advanced editor right here, you can see this added custom 1 is still showing here. You can see it right here. And I have actually changed it here to added is fresh product. So I need to change this also right here to that. I just copy that really quick and just paste it here. So if I click on done now, the error is going to go away. So you have to make sure you reference each line of code in the next line of code. You select the column names. Did the number of applied steps change after carrying out these steps in the exercise? No. We only just change the name. Correct. All we have done is rename the steps that had already been set up and add comments for other users to be able to understand the purpose of the M code. So that's what we did there. So let's finalize this variable and custom functions. Calculate z-score. Okay, let's perform this 2 last steps. Yeah. So context, variable and custom functions. In this exercise, you will refine your knowledge of M language and the advanced editor to more efficiently calculate the safety stock and additional reorder amount. So let's move on. Open the advanced editor and then add the following line of code right above the source code. Code black, fresh product equal to seafood. Okay. Right up, this stores a variable in your query called fresh product, which contains a list of product categories that are considered fresh. Okay. Right. You see, I'm going to add it above the source code. So if I go back here to my advanced editor here, consider we have a comment here. We have the source here. If I click on enter, I can add another source, another code here rather. It's going to be fresh product equals to, let's add that, fresh. So we want to add a list. It's going to be bracket open. Fresh product equals to, I'm going to add this line of code. So I need to point, so it's a code then equals to, I'm going to open this. I don't know what this code is, this bracket is called. We can see I just input a comma, it will move to the next line of code. So I have to input a comma after each line of code while writing the M language code. I'm going to provide I want to provide a list here in this curly bracket. Oh, now I remember it is called curly bracket. So if I'm going to put seafood in double quotes, meat slash poultry in double quotes rather. So let's double quotes. It's going to be seafood, then comma, meat slash poultry. Meat slash poultry, then comma. What we have here is we have produce, dairy and dairy products. Okay. Produce, there's supposing that there's a space there. Then we have produce, and finally dairy products. I think we are good to go. We have no syntax error. So this is a list right up above our code, which is quite different from our data source. This is my data source here, right on my local machine. That's quite interesting to see. This stores a variable in your query called fresh product, which contains a list of product categories that are considered fresh. Okay, let's click on done. Add the following block of code underneath your code you added previously. So we're going to add this underneath the code that we added previously. Okay, is fresh products equals to input as list, and we add this let results equals to if list contain input fresh product then true else false in results. Oh, it said add the following block of code underneath the code you added previously. Underneath the code we added here. Okay, click enter. We want to add another code which is going to be called is fresh products. We want to call this is fresh products. Is fresh product equals to, so it will be equals to open brackets, open and close brackets, input as list. Probably to be referencing the list up here. Let me use a comma before we move to the other one to be seeing syntax error there. Before we complete this code. Okay, we can't even use the comma. We're going to use input as list equals to, then the greater than sign. Okay, hit enter, tab, So I'm just following the instruction and trying to write the M code, which is quite interesting. I'm going to use the probably let be. Oh, nope. I'm writing okay, the let can be a small letter. This is in capital letter. Okay, okay, interesting. Let results, so let results, rather, equals to, if list contain any, equals to, if lists, okay, I think the list is in brackets. If list does contain any, okay. If list does contain, you can see we have it here, contain any. That's the code right there. Open brackets, input. Oh, I didn't spell that correctly. Inputs, I think that should be comma there. Fresh products, okay, we have to reference our fresh products right here back. Control C, fresh products. I think then the next line of code should be then to else false, then to else false. Hit enter. Oh, nope. Then to else false. Control shift. Okay, shift enter to jump away from that. So it's not going to select the suggested code. In result, then comma. Then you could just say in shift results, comma. I see no syntax error. So we actually just edited the code and followed the instruction. And this stores a local function called isFreshProduct inside your query that can be referenced in further steps in the query. Quite interesting. Oh, okay. I think we've done that. Okay, we've done this. It now says navigate to the added is first product step and delete everything in that step after each and add the following is first product category name. Okay, now let's scroll down here a little bit. You can see we don't have any error in this. I have to be very, very careful not to get any syntax error. Get to the is added is fresh products. Okay, it says navigate to the added is first product step and delete everything in that step after each. Everything added is added. This is it. Is added fresh products after each. Let's be careful there. I have to be very, very careful. I think we have to delete everything from here. Let me take a look at it. It says navigate to the added is fresh product step. This is here. Added is fresh products. Added is fresh products. And delete everything. And delete everything in that step after the each. Delete everything in that step after the each. You can delete everything in this step after this each. This is the each here. But there's another each here. Oh, so I see I have to be very, very careful now because that was a mistake I did earlier. So probably I could just copy this part somewhere else. So I won't have syntax error. But there's an each here. There's also each here. That's what the challenge is. But let me pay attention. You can see this seafood, poultry products, and dairy products are part of my this category here. But let me pay attention to the instruction. I think I have to delete everything from here. If list contain any category name, okay. Oh, okay, let me just calm down. Before I do that, I have to make sure I have this saved somewhere. So I move on to that into an error. Right again. I just want to copy this code right from here to here. It's added to this part here. Control C, I want to copy it somewhere for safety. I have it copied all the way to the comma. So I'm going to take a look at the first each here because it says delete everything. Navigate to the added is fresh product step and delete everything in that step after the each and add the following this code here. So we have first each here, part of this added step here. This is the first each here. So let's delete everything up to this place here. Delete. Okay, and I'm to add, what am I to add there? Is fresh product, open bracket. Funny enough, I can't copy this. I can't. So I'm just going to type it out. I'm going to say is fresh product. You're seeing it right there. Okay. Open brackets. I think I have to open a bracket. Open brackets. Curly brackets. Open a bracket. Then after the bracket, we open a curly bracket and this bracket. This last bracket. Interesting. Category name. Let's see. Category name. I'm still saying, see, I'm still seeing error here. You can see there's an error there. Then comma. Oh, there's an error somewhere. This one comma here, one bracket, curly bracket. We have here double bracket right here. Why am I having double brackets right there? You can see, so I was missing another bracket at the edge. Oh, that's quite funny. Now let's see if we haven't made any mistake. Change the calculated safety stock argument to obtain stock based on the order level with multiple of 3 for non-fresh products and then click done. We still have something to do. Change the calculated safety stock. Let's see calculated safety stock. Where is that? I got anything called calculated safety stock here. Ooh, we spent close to an hour trying to solve right M language. That's quite interesting. Oh, I can see unit stock. Okay, this is safety stock here. This is it here. It says change the calculated safety stock argument to obtain stock based on reorder level with multiple of 3 for non-fresh products. Hold up. It says change the calculated safety stock argument. Okay, let me say that one more time. Is fresh products, reorder is fresh products. Added column, table dot add column, add custom column. Reorder amount each if unit stock plus units in order is less than the other level, then safety stock minus unit in stock minus unit in order, else 0. Now it says we should change this to what? To obtain stock based on the other level with multiple of 3 for non-fresh products. Oh, that is turning my head. So I need to look for hints. Let's look at the hints. We are changing the multiple of the other level from 2 to 3 in the case that the fresh product is not fresh. Okay, let me see the other level. The other level here. Where is the other level? We have the other level here. We say if unit stock plus units in order is less than reorder level. So why are we changing it to 2? We are changing the multiple of the reorder level from 2 to 3 in the case that the product is not fresh. Is product fresh? Oh, I can't find that. I can't find or comprehend that currently, right here. Ooh, my head is about to explode right from here. But we continue. You can see the other columns. Okay, this one is just a moving column. This was promoting headers right from here. Nothing serious. I understand promoted header, change data type. Remove other columns. Reorder the columns. So it should be from this added custom column. We should be looking at that additional reorder per each if in stock. So it says we are changing the multiple of the reorder level. The multiple of the reorder level. What is the multiple of the reorder level? It's not awesome. I didn't understand your hints. Your hints is not that helpful. They change the calculated safety stock. Safety stock. This is it here. So I need to change it from stock. I can see safety stock minus unit stock minus units reorder units or reorder units on order rather. Probably I need to add minus reorder level. That is not funny. I think so. Oh, let me see. Change the calculated safety stock argument to obtain the stock based on the reorder level with multiple of 3 for non-fresh products and then click done. With multiple of 3. Let me see. I'm looking for the solution to this. Let me see if I can look at the solution from somewhere else. Let me see if I can get the solution from the next file. Oops, sorry about that. From the next file. Okay. Right here, let me see. You can see it here. You can see it says is added is fresh products. Oh, I can see it right here. Okay, let me pay attention to it here. This is the calculation here, but this is kind of clouding my eye also. I see I have quite a lot of file open down here. You can see this is my previous file. You can see the M code is quite wild. Like my eyes is turning on this one already. That's quite interesting. Oh, I think we spent almost more than an hour here. Probably I need to solve this off live stream because my eyes is clouded already. I could see, okay, I have 18 line of code here. Let me check this solution. Well, almost the same thing or quite different. So I couldn't even get where this added this first products right from here. So you can see calculated safety stock, calculate reorder amount. This is another calculation rather actually. So you can see the calculated safety stock here that we are trying to solve right here. Let me see it from here. And from the instruction says change the calculated safety stock is now asked what is the amount of additional product we should reorder for house lager ledger. Oh, but we are still stuck here. Definitely we have to continue right from here on tomorrow live stream. Probably I'll solve it off live stream and come show you how I was able to do that on tomorrow's live stream. Then we'll move to the next lesson. Actually, this is quite interesting so far. So I just cancel it right here and go to the course dashboard and continue from here on tomorrow's live stream. All right, so thanks for staying to the end of the live stream. You can see learning the M language and actually knowing how to edit and do some calculation right there can be really tough and challenging. But don't worry, if you try and try all over again, it starts making sense. Thanks for staying to the end of the live stream. I don't want it to be much longer than this. Then we're actually going to continue from here on day 27 live stream. Thanks for staying to the end of the live stream. I will see you on the next live stream or go watch some other videos on the channel. Catch you there. Do not forget to subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and support the channel by subscribing here. Support and subscribe. That's all you could do. All right. Have a wonderful day. Bye.